Hey everybody, I'm back again. I got the Opel finished, so I decided I would show it. And I think what I'm going to do maybe when I edit this video is I'll try to throw some pictures in of the real car, some still pictures. That way you guys can decide how good of a job I did or how bad of a job. I think it's pretty accurate. Some of the proportions don't look quite right, but I don't know what else I could do. I mean, I bought the body. It was a Fremont Resins body, and I cut the front end off. I chopped the top. I radiused these wheel wells and put a flare on them. I changed reworked the whole front where the grill is and the bottom here. The original body had like a spoiler molded into it, and I kind of contoured it to try to look like the original car, and rework the headlight area. And all in all, I think it's pretty good. This is the worst side. I got a little bit mess up on the paint there, and I don't know what happened with that little black mark. I tried to polish it off and it won't come off, so I don't think it's under the clear, but I just can't get it off, and I don't want to risk damaging the clear, so it's going to stay. But this is 69 Opel Kadett. It sits a little bit crooked here. I made the tail lights just out of real small styrene rod and painted them, painted the insides. The bumper is a factory piece on the resin body, but I made the bumper guards and added the little rubber, well, they're not really rubber, but the black tips to look like rubber. See if I get a little closer. The door handles, they came from, I believe, the Mobius Nova kit, 64, 65, whatever year it was. I made a mold of those and cast up some door handles, and believe me, you need a lot of them when you make resin because they break trying to clean them up, because I don't have a very clean casting. But it worked out pretty good. And then, just like the real car, oh wait, but the decals are STS decals. I'm sure you followed along on the saga of trying to get decals where the first set got lost. I waited about 2.5 months, and then I contacted them and had them print up another set, which took about a week or so, and then I waited another 5 weeks thinking they were lost again, and I was going to have them do it yet a third time. And then finally, after 5 weeks, they showed up, so they're on. The little UDRA decal on the window, I made that just this morning as a finishing touch. But anyway, as I was going to say, just like the real car, the front end tilts, and the body tilts. I made up a little prop here. The problem is I can't see. Trying to work around the camera. Oh, no wonder I'm trying to put it in the wrong spot. There we go. And Hillborn injected small block Chevy. That's a Speed City resin part. Frame is scratch built. It's not 100% square, but it's pretty accurate to what the real one looked like. And I think, to be honest with you, the real car probably wasn't square either. It was home built by my dad. I forgot to mention, unless you were following before, that this is a replica of my dad's car. I had a lot of good memories of this when I was growing up. From the time I was maybe 11 to 14 years old. Went to the races with him every week. Actually won a lot. 1973 won a lot. That was he won the Maple Grove Point Championship that year in modified eliminator. So, like I said, this car has a lot of history with me, a lot of good memories. The Krager wheels, I made copies of those from the AMT 37 Chevy Coupe, and the back ones I widened. I cut a couple sections of a couple wheels apart and kept, you know, to make them deeper because they were all the same width. And let's see what else. The shifter is scratch built. I don't know if you can see it in there. I have a little light on my tripod here. Not sure how much that helps. But it had a white steering wheel, I remember. I doubt that you can see it, but the parachute release cable actually goes through the passenger side seat. And that was a rule that modified eliminator gas class, they had to have a passenger seat. And this car never used the parachute, it never needed it, but I don't know if the rule was you had to have it. Nowadays, it's if you go 150 miles an hour. This car went like 130, 135. Low 10s. Best I remember was maybe a 998, but the average was 10 0 to 10 teens. I don't remember what the weight break was in C gas, but I know they ran off the record back then, and for the longest time the record was 10-10, and we would run like 10-15, 10-17. And then somebody knocked the record down to 999, and then we stepped up also and ran like some 10-0s. But anyway, that's my rendition. And I just dropped the prop. There we go. Get the body back down and try to get the front end in position again. Show you the underside. Underside is everything is scratch built, all the suspension. That tin work is a little more shiny than what the real car was. Oh, we got two brightnesses on the light. It's a little shinier than what the real car was. And back here is the hinge arrangement I made. It's nothing fancy, but it works. And the front end hinge I had to redo a couple times. Something's wrong though, it's floppy. It wasn't floppy like that before. And I think it's just the wire fit into the there's tubes in there that the wire slides into, and I think it's just a sloppy fit. But when it's all together, it does kind of, you know, if you don't touch it, it stays in position. So that's that, and I'll show you a little bit what I'm thinking about work starting now. I just started tinkering this morning, a little bit last night, but I got a Henry J body out. And these cars are really finicky, fiddly, whatever you want to call it, with the opening doors and the tilt front end, and they always give a lot of trouble. So I glued everything together. I glued the doors together, glued the front end all together, and I did a little pie cut here this morning to just droop the nose down. This is going to be like a Pro Mod Top Sportsman type car. I filled this in. I'm going to try to use, there we go, it was almost right in front of me. I'm going to try to use the original grill. I did a lot of sanding on it to make match this contour, but I'm thinking I can put that in there, and then somehow in the front I'm going to build some kind of a spoiler. It'll stick off of there like that. Obviously not so big, but I haven't really looked into that yet, but that's my plan. And I even have a thought of maybe trying to chop a little bit out of the top, maybe a taper, like cut maybe a little bit out of the front post and this post, and then just kind of bend it forward, you know, slice it maybe and bend it forward. So we'll see how that works out. I'm trying not to ruin a Henry J body, even though it's, you know, if I do, I do. Looks like it's twisted already anyway. Yeah, a little bit. I have to work at that. But anyway, that's my plan for that. And I'm going to use another one of these Nova floor pans. I did fit it in there in the back. It needs to be shortened. I need to cut the firewall so it'll go lower. Without that firewall, I can get it way up in. So I'm going to probably cut it back here. Take a section out of there, move that back, move the firewall so it'll go way up, because I want to put these tires, it's just a one of my resin tires, but I want to put that one too far back. I want that tire up in there like that, or maybe even lower, and front end to match. I want it super low. I guess that's about it. I don't know if I'll find another project too to work on, to keep a couple of them at the same time, or if I'll scrap the Henry J. You'll just have to tune in next time and see what happens. So anyway, thanks for watching.